Andre Khatchaturian, Armenian Sports News, joined today with Josh Seth Greaves, quarterback of the Copenhagen Towers in the Danish American Football League. Josh, how are you today?
I'm good, man. Had a good day so far, and I'm excited to talk to you today. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, you're 9 hours ahead of us from the East Coast in the United States. You're in Copenhagen right now, preparing for the Mermaid Bowl, which is the annual championship game in Denmark, and it'll be between the Copenhagen Towers, and you'll be the quarterback against the Solarod Gold Diggers. That's on September 24th. I'm not making that up. That is your rival's team name. So this is your first season with the Towers in the 7 regular season games. You have been very successful thus far, throwing 26 touchdowns and 8 interceptions, leading your team to a 5-1 record in the league, and 5-2 overall. So coming into the season, new country, new place. What was it like adjusting in Copenhagen?
Yeah, so it was a little different. For me personally, before I came to Denmark, I was in England. So I finished my undergraduate degree at Occidental College in Los Angeles, and then I was fortunate to get into a master's program in England at the University of Nottingham, where I not only got my master's, but I was able to play football on scholarship there, which was a really, really cool opportunity. And so moving to England and then now moving to Denmark is kind of prepared me a little bit of living abroad, living in Europe, etc. I think for me, the biggest cultural difference is there's a lot of differences in terms of language, in terms of food, in terms of just knowing how to get by. One thing that's been really helpful is everyone speaks English here. It's one of the most English proficient countries in the world that doesn't speak it as their first language. And then everyone, in terms of the football aspect, everyone here loves it. All the people I've surrounded myself with love football, pretty well knowledgeable about it. And so coming onto the team, it was really easy for me to kind of talk football, and terminology wasn't an issue, which has been pretty cool.
That's awesome. And the American football is definitely growing in Europe, and I guess you're kind of part of that growth as in your coming into the season. You've been so successful. What are your next steps, next career goals, I guess, in as far as football goes?
Yeah, so for now, the Mermaid Bowl is in 2 weeks. So my goal is to just focus on the game, and then afterwards I'm going to fly home in October, and then kind of talk with my family, and see what's going to happen after that. I have gotten a lot of interest from other teams in other countries, which has been pretty cool. But for now, I'm just going to focus on the game in 2 weeks, and then talk with my family, and see what where the road takes me. I don't know. We'll see. It's in God's hands, to be honest.
And speaking of your family, you're not the first Greaves I've interviewed. We had your brother on, and Jonathan Greaves. He's in college football right now. And so what was it like growing up in such a football-centric family, having a younger brother who's on the defensive side of the ball? What was that like growing up with him?
Yeah, I mean, it was always a competition every single day. He was always a bigger kid. So I have 3.5 years on him. But he was always a big kid, always a strong kid. Now, surprisingly, he actually wasn't really into sports growing up. I was the big sports fanatic. I played baseball, basketball, football. Eventually, I did track, volleyball, and I played rugby in college as well. So and I played soccer too. So I've always been into sports. I love sports. And it wasn't until about his middle school years where he started to really love sports, where he did basketball, track, and football. But still, growing up, everything was a competition. Whether it was playing video games, whether it was playing chess, I mean, it really didn't matter. Everything was competitive between me and him. And then once he started to really hone in on playing sports, for me it was awesome, because I turned into kind of a coach for him. Everything I taught him, basketball, and just seeing his growth into who he is today, the man he is, like, really cool and really fulfilling for me. But yeah, there was our fair share of competition, and there was a lot of food in the house. My mom cooked a lot of food.
Your Armenian mother, last name Zargaryan, and that's all. Yeah, I mean, you got to get all the protein to get to start playing football. Now, your brother mentioned you guys have a very close relationship, that you guys talk every day. You kind of touched on this a little bit. You're kind of more of a coach for him now. How does he kind of help you, even though he's younger than you are? You guys are still football. You guys are grown ups. So I'm sure you're not beating each other up anymore. You guys are helping each other succeed in your junctures in each of your lives. So how does he kind of help you in that aspect?
I think it's just being there for each other. I mean, every day I get a message like, "How's practice yesterday?" And then I'll say like, "Oh, this, that, and the other," and he'd be like, "Hey, man, like, good job, like, keep going, like, let's win this championship." For me, what he does for me is he reminds me why I play. So I play football not because I mean it's a fun sport. I love it. I've been playing my whole life, but I play because of my family. That they're the people I play for. And so he's the reason why my mom and my dad was a high school football coach for 30 years. And so ever since I was 2 weeks old, I was on a football field. So it was very much in the family. And so, yeah, I mean, for me, it's just always remembering like why I play, why I'm over here in Europe. And, he motivates me more than anyone else.
And so you have this championship game coming up. Have you ever won a championship at any level of your athletic career?
No, I haven't actually. I've played tackle football for 15 years, 2 years of flag, so 17 years total. And I've never won a championship. I've been in 3 finals before in my life, including in England about 6 months ago. And so never have won one. So I'm ready. I'm ready to win this, man.
That's
it's been
exciting.
a long
And
time.
Yeah, that's exciting. Mermaid Bowl. You're gonna try to get that title for you and get a ring on your finger. That's fantastic. And uh, as far as being Armenian, playing football in Denmark, that's very an interesting concept. That I feel like when Armenians see this, they're like, oh wow, there's an Armenian quarterback playing football in Denmark. What does it feel like to represent Armenia at in Denmark for Denmark football? I guess.
Pretty cool, man. I mean, growing up, I'm from LA. I grew up in the San Fernando Valley and Granada Hills. So there are a lot of Armenians, obviously, in that area and obviously in the greater Los Angeles region. But not many play football, and my brother kind of touched on it in the interview with you. Not many play football, but I think I have about 3 friends that played football that were Armenian. But, they just played till high school. And so being able to not only play college, but play pro has been pretty cool for me. I mean, I'm very proud of being Armenian, being in Europe. I've only met one Armenian since I've lived out here. Obviously, there's many in Europe, but it's pretty cool for me. And so I bring this flag with me wherever I go. I'm very prideful of it, and I make sure to tell people that I am Armenian. Yes, I'm an American, and they hear my accent, but at the end of the day, like my roots are Armenian, and so I want people to know that. And it's been pretty cool. I've been able to educate people on our history, and all that type of stuff, which honestly, at the end of the day, is what's most important.
And I think it'll be pretty amazing to, if all goes well at the Mermaid Bowl, it'll be pretty amazing to say an Armenian quarterback led the Copenhagen Towers to the Mermaid Bowl. That'll be really cool, and I hope that happens for you. And as far as your work-life balance in Denmark, I'm just personally interested. I hear stories about a lot of European American athletes in European leagues, like in basketball or in hockey, and now in your case in American football. They kind of have like football is like the part-time job, and they also have like a regular job that they have to go to kind of make ends meet. Do you kind of live that life, or or is football your full-time?
Kind of. I mean, I'd say football is still my full-time job. I do get paid pretty well to play, but my day-to-day kind of goes. I usually go to the gym in the morning. Then afterwards, I watch film, and then I do a couple projects for my head coach. I do a lot of moving. I do a lot of building for his house, and so that's been kind of my outside of football work that I do. I also I coach the U16 team for the Copenhagen Towers. So that's another part of the football aspect. So which I take a lot of pride in. The kids I coach, they're amazing, and I love every second of it. Just for me, my dad being a coach, it's the most fulfilling thing. Seeing someone grow and develop is really cool. And then I also do private sessions as well with quarterbacks, with any sort of football player, anyone new to the game, someone who's been playing for years. I also do private sessions on the weekends or sometimes during the week. So
Is coaching
yeah,
something you see in your future?
potentially, maybe as a side thing. I definitely want to utilize my master's degree. And so, you know, when I'm done playing, whenever that may be, I definitely want to work in like a corporate job probably, and then maybe coach on the side. Like I said, that's what my dad did, and so I
Yeah.
love it. I love just it's just fulfilling for me. Like I said.
Well, your passion is oozing towards me as well, and it's really cool to see you so passionate about what you do. And I want to wish you best of luck in that Mermaid Bowl against the Gold Diggers. And we will definitely be following and keeping tabs on that game. And maybe we can do a follow up if all goes well.
Absolutely, that sounds good to me.
Cool. Thank you so much.